All right, everyone, we are back. This is SDAT 2021. Thank you so much to everyone for hanging out on this great day one. We're at $600. It's a lot of dollars. That's a lot of dollars, as my boss would say. Shout out to Glenn and TGH for that great run. Coming up next, we have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, All Dungeons by Lake. Do not let the schedule fool you. I want to take a little bit of time to talk about some incentives we have coming up. So the most pressing one right now, I'll run through it. Let's run through the incentives really quick, shall we? As far as polls go, we have the Double Dash poll. The top 2 characters are going to get picked. This is going to be tomorrow. Diddy Kong is currently in first place because y'all want me to suffer with the big banana with $120. So I don't know that we're going to get caught up on that. But second place is Toadette, which I can rock with Toadette. I can do that. We have a $15 donation. Sorry, we have a $15 lead for the purple Kirby. And last but not least, the incentive that is coming up in closing soon. If you want to get your money in for this, you better get it in quick. The Legend of Zelda. It says Minish Cap. We can't change it. Ocarina of Time. Currently, the final name will be Small. S-M-O-L. It has $129. Second place is Moosh. Moosh at $81. And third place is Quo with $81 and then $31. So Small is winning. What's going on, Tass? How you doing, bud? I see Crunchy Brown. I see Glenn. I see Shu. We got Gartog in the chat. Hooray Yogurt. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. And then the other incentive we have another incentive going on right now. It is the last incentive. It is the first incentive for tomorrow. We have 2 more runs and then a little bit of time tomorrow morning to get it. You guys have been crushing it. All the incentives.
And then just jumping off. Dr. Sesame Seed thinks that this is due to the electrical current given off by the lampshades before they happen.
But we have Win Fnac Ball, Bowden, SDAT Original, as we call him. Bowden. His deep bass tone, his very deep voice. I can't do a good Bowden, but you know what he sounds like. You can hear him. He will be here doing Whoopo, and there's an option to win Fnac Ball. They usually lose it. You know, speedrunners, you know how they get. They lose everything just to save time. Well, Bowden will win, which loses time. And so we are about $110 away from Fnac Ball, where we're going to win Fnac Ball. So lots of good stuff going on. We're at $602. That's a lot of dollars. Thank you so much to everyone who donated. I'm going to take a second to remind you why we're here. Did you know $50, that's 50, can supply a home water filter so girls spend their days in school and not fetching water? You know, y'all watched The Jungle Book when you were kids, Disney movie? She goes to get the pail of water. That was all she was doing. She didn't have nothing else going on. We're trying to make sure that that's not the case. I want to make sure that our kids have a better life. So get those donations in. It is worth it. It's a great cause. They've been super supportive of SDAT. Let's go show them some love. You know, we have 2 more runs to go. We got a few more hours to go. Yeah, we got like 4 hours left. So I have some faith in us. You know, we're going to get some more donations in. Get those donations in at $1,000. Jared's going to buy me a train whistle for me to harass you all with on the mic. If you don't want to donate, that is totally fine. I just want to let you know that you can donate your channel points to the goal in the Discord, which will unlock a special episode of Speedrun Insider. There are a few that we already have in the can that we will be able to unlock.
Blue Jr. struggles to hold on to his interests as he becomes a recluse within his own life. He spends most of his time alone in his bunk, thinking of the past year. Grand Pink from Girl Bunk 3 is his close friend.
And just like that, we have a $20 donation. Oh, it's from Mama CJ. Mama CJ says, SDAT 21 is just getting started and already fun. Good luck, everyone. Thank you, Ma. I appreciate it.
Blue Jr. shortly answers her questions. He feels guilty around Grand Pink because of the confession.
I'm just saying, if Mama CJ can get down in there and get in the you know, counting the pennies in the ashtray, where you guys at, you know? I have faith in you. I believe in you.
True path to happiness?
We have a lot of fun left this weekend. We have a whole other weekend, which is insane. So we're getting off to a great start. We're going to take a quick pause. We're going to let you hear a message from Save the Children. I'm telling you that some of these are getting me teary-eyed. So can't say no to these kids. These kids have been through hell and back. We're going to take a quick pause, see a little bumper, get a message from the charity. When we come back, we'll be live with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, all dungeons by Lake.
बहुत अच्छा लगता कि मेरी बेटी पहले से कमज़ोर थी, अभी नॉर्मल में ये खेलती है, बोलती है, चलती है।
وين مرتا وين تمرق مرارة بدو إقاجي داون
والعظم يعني الناس كامل يعني يقولوا لي مش تعيش البنت يوزنوا يعملوا كل شيء الحمد لله.
Yeah, thanks, CJ. We're doing all dungeons, which sounds like exactly what it is. We're beating every dungeon in the game and beating the game. Although the beating the game part will be in a bit of a different method than you might be used to. So, we're gonna have fun. There's a lot of glitches in this this route. It's gonna be a lot of movement, a lot of glitches. Really, really cool run, so I'm excited to perform it. If we're ready for a file name, I was told what we had in the lead beforehand, but want to double check. Small. Alright, and I think if we're all ready to go, I'm good to go. Alrighty. Start in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go. Alright, so first things foremost, you might have noticed we're in Japanese. That is simply because it is the fastest language for this game. out of the like 2 or 3 languages that are available. It's just less text characters to go through, so it just goes by faster. And like I said, this is all dungeons. This specifically all dungeons no SRM. There's a category split between them. And no SRM, implies that we don't do SRM, which is a glitch in this game. It's very complicated, and since this run doesn't do it, I won't go too much into detail, but it's very broken, and it's broken enough to split a lot of categories into 2 different categories. That's about all you need to know for the purposes of this run. So we won't be doing that. Yeah. It's just different levels of broken, pretty much. So yeah, we're gonna beat every dungeon. There are 8 main dungeons in the game. 3 that you're supposed to beat as Child Link, and 5 that you're supposed to beat as Adult Link, although we will be beating all of them as Adult Link. We will not be staying as a child for very long. Doing a few essential things, and then picking up the Master Sword. Unfortunately, this game does have like a 3-minute cutscene at the start we just have to get through before we can get to any gameplay. But aside from like 2 cutscenes in this run's like no cutscenes. Comparatively to other categories, this run is like no cutscenes. Noticeable differences between this category and a few others is, I mentioned this in the opening statement, but we're beating the game in a kind of different way than people are used to seeing. We're not going to beat Ganon. Spoiler alert, Ganon will not die in this speedrun. It's not actually a requirement for beating the game, or in this category, to beat Ganon. So we're not going to do it. There are faster ways to beat the game, and we'll get to that when we get to that. I think it's best to save that for now, but that's a noticeable like difference between this category and most like MST that I've done before here, and 100% and so on. And the category also literally called Defeat Ganon. So almost ready here. Our first goal here is mainly just gonna be to get out of Kokiri Forest. This game is very, very broken, as has been made apparent a couple times now from comments, but there's a lot of ways to get out of the forest, some of which have, their pros and cons, but the main things we want are to get to Kakariko, to pick up a bottle from collecting the chickens, and also to get into the bottom of the well for an item there. So we're just going to collect a few things here in Kokiri Forest that are necessary to get out of the Kokiri Forest. Being a stick and some nuts that aren't actually required to get out of, but will be in handy later. So you can take us to the rupee route then. Yeah, I'm gonna do 1 stick here. Alright, so 25 rupees in hand. Shop stolen from, and we will use the stolen money to buy a stick and nuts. And the Lost Woods is actually like perfectly casually accessible rather, right from the start of the game. So we're actually gonna head on over there, and that's gonna be our avenue out of the forest. Yeah, you can do a couple glitch movements to get out through the front where the guard is blocking, but there's also kind of a cutscene attached to that where you get Ocarina, and we don't need that, so this is faster. So there's a little shortcut that you're supposed to get access to later on when you have Silver Scale over here. But we can do a trick to clip into this block here. And we can actually hit the loading zone from pretty high up. and that'll take us right out of the forest. And actually kind of important, we're going to be collecting some rupees in Zora's River here. It's not going to look like very deliberate movement, but it mostly isn't, but there's some deliberate parts, so you get exactly 20 here. Oh. Ah! That would be a problem. Okay.
Sorry about that, folks. We're just getting that taken care of real quick. I gotta tell you, I sound amazing with this new microphone. This is my vanity at work. But, you know, I think you could coat the back of a spoon with my voice right now. Silky and ribbony. Ribbony? Ribbony. Mama CJ to the rescue. We do have 2 really quick donations I can read while we're getting this squared away. We have a... we do have the donation from Mama CJ, which I already read. So we only have 1 donation, and that is from Calcium Lemon. Shout out to Lemon. He donated $20.69 and wrote nice. All right, I'm being told by the man behind the curtain that we are ready to get back into the mix. So we're going to jump right back into it and get the show on the road. Alrighty, so we are back. Sorry about the quick delay, but I want to make sure that the next hour and 40 minutes we had stereo commentary. So give us a countdown so we can restart the timer. Make sure, hey, Tim, just say something about yourself so that everyone can hear you and you can do your intro so that people know who you are and that you're here.
Hello, my name's Tim. My tag's Tomato. I'm also an Ocarina of Time speedrunner. And I like this category a lot. So I'm happy Lake invited me to commentate with him.
All right, that's good. We can, in fact, hear you.
Nice.
Any future reports to the contrary will be put into the suggestion bin, which is the disposal. So, Lake, give us a countdown when you're ready to resume, and we'll get the show back on the road.
All right, cool. We're resuming in 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Alright, so some movement we gotta get to Kakariko before it turns night, which isn't hard. But we also don't want to talk to this owl up ahead, and we can do some little movement here to get what's called a forward water extended super slide. And this is our first example of ESS movement, which we'll be doing a lot of in this run. Basically, the position just outside the dead zone, so just slightly nudging the control stick in a direction, has weird movement properties where it doesn't have a specific value assigned to it. So like, in some cases it takes on whatever your last one was, and our last one was coming out of that water with side hop movement. So we got to carry that on, and the reason that's important there is because owls cannot talk to you while you're in ESS position. So it helps us not talk to him. And now we are doing the best part of the run, collecting chickens.
Good old cuckoos.
There are 7 chickens, or cuckoos, scattered around Kakariko, and we have to round them up give them back to Anju, who is allergic to them for some reason.
I forgot about that lore.
Gotta know the juicy lore of the game you're in, Tim. Come on.
That's true, but it's in Japanese, so I can't read it.
So these chickens, when you throw them, they like flutter in place for a bit, and then they start walking. And the direction they walk in is just completely opposite of wherever Link is. So we try to position ourselves so the chickens run into a direction we want them to. Other than that, it's kind of just movement.
Yeah, and this movement's a little tricky. Lake's making it look kind of easy, but he has to throw these cuckoos at a specific position, so they run towards the position that's like closer to the pan.
This last one up here. Got all of them down. Just gotta get them over to energy. And I'm using Deku Nuts at some points to anger the cuckoos so they start running faster, so they're not fluttering in place for as long. I promise no cuckoos are being harmed in anything in this speedrun. Alright, so all the cuckoos collected, and you'll get us a bottle, and the bottle is very broken in this run. We'll be using it a lot. We'll do a lot of things with it. Nothing just yet, though. For now, we will be doing this trick, Navi Dive, to get to the bottom of the well early. Can you maybe explain what's going on there, Tim? Or actually, forget about that, explain. Let's worry about Blank A.
Yeah, okay. So there's a reason why we got stick and nuts before we escape to do a trick called Blank A, which is exclusive to 1.0. So the way Blank A works is that you interrupt crawling into that crawl space. So Link is in this weird state right now that the game thinks he's in that crawl space. So it like kind of messes up with the physics. So he's able to side hop out of like the jump slash, which normally you're not supposed to. So we can quickly get into this room right here. Then Lake's gonna swim up. You can quickly jump slash into this room, which will give us bomb shoes. And it was very well done by Lake right here.
And I know my capture is kind of weird when I reset. Everything's fine. It just goes a little out. But yeah, we do a quick save and reset there to get back to the start so we can exit quickly.
Right, and that's all we need in Bomb the Well, just those shoes.
And that's actually all we need in child section in general. We will be going adult now.
Oh yeah. Going adult's the fun part in this route.
Not many things child Link can do faster than adult Link. So generally you kind of want to go adult as soon as possible. Adult Link can do a lot more than child can. This owl that we skipped earlier is still here. We can skip it by pulling out a stick as we pass through his little sock zone. Owls aren't very strong in this game, as it's probably quite apparent. A lot of things can skip them. So, it did turn night and this gate's going up, but we haven't looked at it yet, and this gate only updates when you look at it, so boom, just pop up there. And that actually, those 20 rupees, well, the 320 rupees at the top of that gate, that some people actually don't know about, give us the last 60 we need to buy a shield. And this shop is also only open at day. But fortunately there's a neat little clip here we can do to get over the door and into the loading zone. And we now have a shield.
Yeah, that loading zone's actually kind of easy to get to. If you had sword, you can just jump slash into it, you know, clip easily.
Yeah, it's a bit trickier without it, so we just use a small setup. Alright, and normally you're supposed to get all the stones from all the child dungeons, and Song of Time as well, to be able to open the Door of Time to get to the Master Sword. But luckily for us, the developers left a small crack in the side of the door that we can actually abuse. A little trick jump there. We can just get past the door.
Nice.
And there it is, the Master Sword. Alright. So this is like the only cutscene for the next hour. But it is a 4-minute cutscene. If there is anything to read, this would be a good time to do it, because the rest of the run is gameplay.
Well, we don't have anything else at the moment. I just want to remind everybody that we have a bunch of great incentives open. We have a bunch of polls open. Everything for today is done, but you can get a head start on tomorrow. We are only, it looks like $67 away from winning Fnac Ball. I don't even know what Fnac Ball is, y'all. I think we need to learn. I think we need to, like, you know, be educated and see how you win instead of just seeing how you lose. So get those donations in. You know, I think if we all pushed our rubles together, we could all hit 700 by the end of the run. That's just me. I think we can do it. So,
I think we can too.
all right, you heard him. Get to work.
Tap, tap. Alright, so yeah, just a bit of a cutscene here. When you turn adult, Roar tells you, oh, you, here's by the way. Go save the world. Just gotta listen to our ramble for a bit.
Gives his ass to save the world.
Yep. To go over some things that will be happening early on, as soon as I regain control of my character. This run uses a trick called Reverse Bottle Adventure, which is probably the most complex thing this run does. We don't do it often, but we do it. So I can go over what that means now. So Reverse Bottle Adventure is a glitch that basically writes values into your inventory. The specific way that we're gonna do it here is to get more bomb shoes, so that thing we collected at the bottom of the well. When we can give you a glitch to get a bottle on our B button, and the game doesn't quite know where to write that information. So instead of looking at where it usually looks for bottles, it looks just to the left of it in the data, and that happens to be on your C buttons, specifically your C right button. And writes it wherever your C right button tells you to write it. And we can manipulate that, depending on what we have on our C right, to put it wherever we want, pretty much. In this case, we're gonna have it alternate, or not alternate, have it alter, just alter, our shoe count, our bomb shoe count. We can get a bunch of bomb shoes, and bomb shoes are really nice for going really fast because they let us do what's called a Hess very, very fast, and a bunch of other tricks. So I mentioned Wessing earlier on our way to CAC. Hessing is like that, but a lot faster. And we use Explosion Pushback to get that speed instead, and that ends up being about twice as fast as backwalking, which is really nice.
Right, I'm gonna see a bunch of Hessing throughout this route. Just really nice.
It's probably one of the most fun tricks to do in this game, and this category's got a lot of it.
Yeah, it's jam-packed in there.
And the reason bomb shoes are like good for that is because they explode on contact with a lot of surfaces, like trees or signs or people. And you can do Hesses with like regular bombs too, but bombs have like a ticking timer. That, you know, you have to wait a few seconds before they explode. And bomb shoes have that too, but if you just smash it against the wall, a certain wall, you get to skip that. You get to start Hesses really fast. Okay, so we do have to save warp again to get around the door. That door we skipped is still there, so the only way to get around that is to save and reset. And we're back in front of the door time. On the other side, we can go on to our business. So first off, we're going to head straight over to Kakariko once again. Kakariko's a very useful location in a lot of speedruns. Has a lot of very good items. Specifically what we want is the hook shot. And also Shadow Temple is there. We're going to beat Shadow Temple like, right away. So here's the Hess. There's not really anything for us to smash the Chew against here. That's okay. We failed it, but you can get a Hess off those if you time it just right. All that is sped up movement. We will see plenty more. Like here. So we're on our way to Graveyard. We want the hook shot from Dante's grave, and then after we'll go to the Shadow Temple. But first, we will do what I was talking about earlier and get Bottle on B button. I don't think that works, so I'm going to reload the area and try again. This one can be a bit finicky. Maybe explain a little bit of what we're doing here today.
So, what Lake wants to do, he wants to press B on a specific frame as he's targeting. So he's letting the Chew explode, and press B at the right frame, and that will make the game right over the bottle button on our B button, which is how we start RBAing. And this trick is kind of finicky.
Yeah, we got a bunch of tries at it, luckily.
Yeah, we got a lot of Chews to spare to get bottle on B. But once we can get bottle on B, we can update our ammo count for our Chew, and we can get right onto business.
So now, as you can see, we have that bottle on our B button. And we're not going to do anything with it just yet, but catching that bottle on our B button with the bottle on our C right gave us actually another bottle into our inventory. That's where the value for bottle gets written.
Right, and now we have two different bottle slots.
And now the Dante race for hookshot. Hookshot is a very useful item, just for movement, for tricks, just probably one of the best items in the game, if not the best.
Put your guesses in. What time is he gonna get?
Yeah, a lot of people like to...
47.
47
I
minutes.
believe in you.
Yeah, a lot of people like to guess what time you're gonna get in the race. 47, 46, 48 are like the good ones. But if you get bopped by one of these flames, that can quickly change.
Or you having nice RNG by those flames. Those flames can really mess you up. Oop.
Okay. 48.
So close.
Alright, and like I mentioned earlier, we're going to head pretty much directly to the Shadow Temple from here, after RBAing some bomb shoes. And I mentioned earlier that it depends on what we have on C right for altering our inventory here. And it just so happens that a small Poe is the item of choice for altering your bomb shoe count. Just how the data lines up. And there is a Poe that spawns right out here. Alright, so watch my chew count. It's 1 right now. I drop it, and now it's 20. I catch bugs, and now it's 29.
So many Chews.
So many bomb shoes. What are we gonna do with all these shoes? Alright, so now this is a way to get into Shadow before beating any dungeons. Hookshot jump. So we are getting into this weird state after we bonked on the house. And we're gonna interrupt that state with hookshotting the side of the house. And it's gonna send us really high up. And now we're on this scene. New ISG, there we go. We got another glitch. There's a lot of glitches happening at once, but we got another glitch called Infinite Sword Glitch, which swings our sword every single frame. And the side effect of that is that we can't fall off any ledges, so we can get around on here without having to worry about falling off. And if we set up from really high up here, we can skip the loading trigger that caused the door in front of Shadow Temple to be here, and we can just walk right in. Alright, so now we're making our way to Hover Boots now. And if anyone is familiar with the layout of Shadow Temple, you'll know that the room with Bongo Bongo in it is pretty far away from where Hover Boots are. At least if you are going through the dungeon regularly. But what you may not know is that the room with Bongo Bongo is pretty much right above this room. Or right below, rather, this room. So we can abuse that in a second here to get to that room pretty early. And you can probably take over while I try to do this trick, Tim.
Alright. Yeah, the trick that Lake is about to do is a pretty hard trick. It's called Boat Skip. And with the help with shoes, we're able to clip along the slope on the left of this chest right here, and it's gonna help us clip through the room, and we can enter where the boss room is, kind of like this unloaded room. Then we have to do a second trick, which I'll explain a bit later. He does this trick right now. So with the help of a mega flip, when you do a mega flip, you have to press backflip on the right frame. Oh, I got it unbuffered, which is really nice. And use that slope there. Now he's out of bounds and he's gonna enter the pre-boss room. So everything's unloaded right now, but like, no, he's a gamer, he knows where everything is, so he doesn't really need to see. So right now he's going to get on the ledge close to the boss room door. He's gonna throw a chew and a nut. Then he's gonna press target on this specific frame that will let him clip through this boss door. And here it is. And there, he's in the boss room. It's really well done by Lake.
Yep, that was nice. Didn't waste any bomb chews is the main thing.
Right. Yeah, that trick's pretty scary. But you did it really well.
Alright, so this is our first boss, and will be our first dungeon of the game. While I'm fighting Bongo, maybe Tim, you can go ahead and explain how we're gonna skip the cutscenes at the end of the dungeons.
So, the reason why we collected a bottle earlier as child is so we can skip a bunch of these cutscenes, do a bunch of run orbs, because bottle's super broken in this game. Alright, so what we want to do, so Lake right now, he's dropping and he's going to catch the bugs. Because we want bottled contents in points, which lets us to do a trick called OI, or Ocarina items, which allows us to essentially use whatever item you press bottle plus like a sword or hook shot, and we can play it as like an ocarina, which will help us move around while we're just outside the edge of the blue warp, which is very important to do these cutscene skips. So right now Lake's gonna do some special movement to backflip onto the right at the edge of the blue warp while doing the trick called Ocarina items. Then right now, he's playing Ocarina, but he needs to cancel the Ocarina just after, and he's going to do a specific movement. He's going to do 2 slashes, then he's going to die right here. And now set the cutscene pointer, I think, towards us getting the medallion and the entrance of Shadow. And there you go. You see the white flash that tells us that we actually got the medallion.
Yep, so we got the medallion there and didn't have to watch the cutscene. It was very fast. So that's one dungeon down. Alright, so our next goal is to collect a bunch of other things before we go into any dungeons. That dungeon is like super fast to do, really early on. So we didn't have to do much for it. We'll make a pit stop real quick to Angie once again. We need to collect the pocket egg from her, which is the first item in the Big Goron Sword trading quest. And this will come in handy later, but it's not important for now. And I did take some damage there, because I will want to die in a second as well. There's actually a merchant in here that you can sell things to. I didn't know this when I played the game casually. I didn't know what that guy did. But he buys your bugs for the hot price of 50 rupees, which, if you ask me, is a bit of a steal for you. And you can trade those 50 rupees into the potion shop for a fairy. Not really sure how Hyrule's economy really functions. Not gonna lie. But this fairy will help us do a trick in a bit here to get bombs. So that's where we're heading. We're heading to Dadango's Cavern to get bugs. And we're actually not going to beat Dadango's Cavern just yet. We just want bombs, and we want to do another thing, and then we're going to dip out. So you can see more of those 2 Hesses that I was talking about. We'll be doing plenty more this run. They're all over the place. Alright, so the trick we're gonna do here is called Bim Jump. We're basically, it's very similar to what we did in Graveyard to get into Shadow Temple. But instead of canceling the weird state we had after bonking the house, we're going to cancel it with death. And we don't want to actually die, so we have a fairy. But we do want to real quick open these eyes. That one didn't work apparently, it's fine. And that'll be useful for later. We're gonna come back to this dungeon and beat it later when we have a few more items, and there's the trick. Like I said, pretty much the same concept as getting the shadow, but we're interrupting with the death and then getting revived. And that actually takes us much higher up because we aim to jump higher up.
Very nice. That is a frame perfect trick.
Yeah, a lot of these tricks in the run are frame perfect. In this game in general, a lot of the tricks are frame perfect. But this game only runs at 20 frames per second, and also we have pause buffering, which is just pausing and unpausing the game over and over again to get to the frame that we want, which you will see me do quite a few times this run. So taking a bit of damage from falling, and that beam was there because we want to die again in a bit. Dying is pretty broken in this game.
Sure.
So we're off to Goron City. We're gonna grab some warp songs now. Bolero of Fire and Minuet of Forest. This will help us get around later. So there's this door blocking the entrance to Jarunia's room. You're not supposed to be able to get through that door until you talk to aptly named Rolly Boy. But we can do a Mega Flip, which is a bomb-empowered backflip, basically. To clip through the corner of this door and get behind it without even loading the room. So now we're just behind the room, unloaded. We can get into Death Mountain Crater there.
Nice.
Alright, and then we die upon entering that cutscene, pretty much at the same time, and it'll give us a song as soon as the cutscene starts, but since we died, we don't have to watch the cutscene. So we have Bolero Fire now, and we can just dip out. And now we're on our way to Minuet. We do a pretty cool Hess up Goron City here. This is probably my favorite Hess in the run.
Top tier Hess. Makes you feel like a pro whenever you do it.
Oh yeah. Alright, short detour into here for a fish, because we sold our bugs earlier and we need something we can drop and then recatch. And fish and bugs are like the only two things that really fit that description.
But yeah, fish is a lot better than bugs though, because fish, you don't really have to move towards what you want to catch, but the fish just stays in place. But with bugs, they move everywhere, so it's a bit problematic for some other wrong warp setups that we have to do here.
Yeah, fish is definitely more wanted. Alright, so we're gonna get a glitch called down A here. We're gonna cancel our movement onto this ladder with an explosion. And it's gonna give us some properties of the ladder, but we're not on the ladder. We're gonna use that to walk up the slope that you would normally not be able to walk up. We can just clip out and slide up through, and the trigger for the minuet of Forest cutscene, which gives you the song, is right here. We can start it, and then we void out since we're out of bounds, and we have the song, and of course did not watch the cutscene. Pretty common thing. Okay.
I don't want to watch these cutscenes.
Yeah, we do not want to watch cutscenes in this run. Said there weren't many in this run, and I meant it. So right now we're actually on our way to Deku Tree. We're gonna start beating more dungeons now. We can do a cool Hess here to get on top of whatever this is, like the tree canopy. I don't know what it's supposed to be. But we can get behind to where the Deku Tree is without loading it. And that's important because normally the Deku Tree's mouth is closed. And it's like an entirely different object, so much like the Shadow Temple door, it's not there if we can get to the room without loading it. Alright, so our only goal in Deku Tree is to beat it, as is our goal of pretty much every dungeon in this run. Just trying to beat it as fast as we can. So we're going to do some good movement here to get to the Goma room as fast as possible. Going to be using a Mega Flip, like I mentioned earlier, and I'm just empowering a backflip of a bomb explosion. Okay, I failed some movement there. That's okay. I do have to take a few hits from the stick of Baba here to get back down to low health. I was at half a heart intentionally there. I want to be back at half a heart. Over. I'm just gonna do the sneak movement. I kinda did that one out of habit. Alright, so this will take us all the way to the Goma boss room. Very quickly. And we skipped the Shadow Medallion cutscene by dying pretty much at the same time the Blue Orb wanted to take us away to the cutscene last time. And this time we're going to do pretty much the same thing, but it's going to act a little differently. There are 4 dungeons in this game that when you do this cutscene skip, it actually doesn't take you to the beginning of the dungeon, but it takes you somewhere else completely. And the reason for that is because most dungeons, when they start the cutscene, they take you to the Chamber of Sages, where they give you medallions and stuff. And that doesn't really have, like, it's not really on the same map as anything else. But Deku Tree, Dadango's Cavern, Jabu, and Fire Temple start the cutscene somewhere else. So I think that was late. So when it tries to take us away, it's gonna take us, instead of the Chamber of Sages plus dying, it's gonna take us to wherever it's taking us plus dying, which can warp us somewhere else. It's kind of the TLDR. It's a pretty complicated glitch.
It's a pretty complicated glitch, but this is gonna be our first round warp here. We're going to see a familiar place that we've seen before.
Alright, So we're gonna backflip and do Ocarina items again onto the edge of the blue orb, just as that bomb starts to explode, and then we'll cancel it, instantly die, and that'll line up perfectly for the blue orb. And like Tim said, we'll take it somewhere familiar. So back to Dadango's Cavern. This is kind of why we didn't beat it at first, because Deku Tree takes us right to it.
Whoa! How did we get here?
And this is also why we opened the map earlier, so we can just walk through. Alright, this door, you usually have to place the block onto it for the door to open, but we can talk to Navi, hopefully. We can talk to Navi at the same time as we land on that switch, and it keeps the door open for longer, allowing us to just walk in. Nice little bomb chest here to refill in some bombs. And we're now in our third boss room. So King Dadango is a pretty hard boss. Hopefully I can get the kill on my first try. Looks pretty menacing.
He's a big boy. Call him a king for a reason.
Man is a king. Okay, so we're intentionally damaging down again because we want to die. And if you can't tell, I was joking about this hard, the boss being hard. It's dead in 2 bombs and 2 stabs. Alright, we're gonna do...
Warriors for being easy.
Yeah, it's very, very easy. We're gonna do something very similar to what we just did. Skip this cutscene, and we're gonna warp somewhere else, somewhere new this time.
Yeah, it looks kind of similar to the wrong warp that Light just did at Deku Tree. The same concept of using the bomb and dying at the same time as activating the cutscene.
Alright, and this takes us to... drumroll... Gerudo Training Grounds, on pretty much the entirely opposite side of the world. Which is very, very useful, because the Spirit Temple is what we're gonna go to next. It is obvious, and that is definitely the furthest dungeon away from every other dungeon. It takes a pretty long time to get the Spirit Temple if you're coming from pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, a lot of the wrong words are very useful because not only we get the stones or medallions, plus it also cuts out a lot of movement in Hyrule Field to get into some of these areas.
Alright, and there's a gate here. Normally you can't get through it unless you have a Gerudo card, which involves freeing a bunch of carpenters. We don't want to do that, so do a nice little mega flip to clip out of bounds there and around the gate. Alright, in Wasteland, you have to follow a specific path in order to not void out and get lost and stuff. These flagpoles help you know where to go on the first half, but the second half, Poe is supposed to lead you. And we can just do a Hess to get through it fast if we know where to go. I'm gonna cut mine short here because the second half is a bit harder to get through than the first half, so...
Yeah, Light's a gamer. He doesn't need any guide.
Yeah. Lens of Truth and Magic would be a bit of a detour if we needed to get that.
Just pure nature guiding him.
Yeah, just channeling the nature chakra.
The sand spirits. Oh.
Yeah, Weavers are the worst enemy in the game. They pop up exactly when you don't want them to. And no other time. Alright, so now we're at the Spirit Temple, and in order to beat Twinrova, the boss of the Spirit Temple, you need the Mirror Shield. So that's going to be our first goal, is to get the Mirror Shield. Which is actually right above us right now. It is on one of the hands outside. So we're going to do a trick called Spirit Hover. So you go up there, and you can kind of explain what's going on, Tim.
Alright, so Lake got ISG, like he explained earlier, that it helps us to hover. So Lake's gonna use bomb shoes to create an explosion, and as he backflips, it creates more height as we, because we have ISG right now. So he's gonna use specifically 9 bomb shoes to get at a certain height over here. And so we still have ISG, so we can backflip onto this little seam right here.
Okay.
Backflip on it.
Not really sure what happened here, but that's okay.
Yeah, that
We have
seam is
backups.
kind of trolly. So what Lake needs to do, he needs to get more bomb shoes, so he's going to do RB again. Luckily we have bombs and we still have our Poe, so we can get bottle and be pretty much anywhere with a wall.
Alright, and I do want to keep this fish, so I'm gonna drop it and put it back in my real bottle. Gonna need that fish later. Alright, so now we're all stocked up on bomb shoes again. Like we mentioned, normally not necessary. This isn't something you do optimally, but marathons be marathons.
Marathons be like that sometimes. So yeah, Lake just has to do get ISG again and start hovering with explosives.
Same deal as last time. Okay.
Yeah, not only it doesn't have to be only explosives, but it can just be pretty much any damage source. Like you can see him using a Gui to start the hover, which is real neat because it saves one bomb, or it saves like a bomb or a bomb chew.
It also helps with killing the Gui because he can kind of mess you up in the middle of your hover.
Yeah, that Gui is on a cycle, out to kill you.
That's fun.
So he's gonna backflip onto the seam again. He has to backflip onto another seam, which helps him go up along this path over here, and he can hookshot onto the silver gauntlets chest. But we don't need the silver gauntlets, we need the mirror shield. So he's gonna do a thing called a super slide, which is kind of like a Hess, but with the super slide he only goes one direction. With the Hess he can go in multiple directions. So he can do a super slide across this little gap over here. And the mirror shield chest will just drop down. And there we go.
Alright, mirror shield acquired. So now with mirror shield in hand, our objective switches once again to just beating the dungeon as fast as possible. So, try to get over to Twinrova as fast as we can. And a few obstacles to get through in the way. Also, we're pretty low on bombs now that we used a bunch. So luckily Spirit has a few sources that can drop bombs for us. Just had to kill that knuckle to get through the store. And we're kind of doing Spirit Temple in reverse to what it's normally been supposed to be done in. Since we came from the top, we didn't even enter the bottom we were supposed to start from. And these Armos have a 50% chance to drop a bomb for us, so hopefully we get some from them. I don't know. don't think that's all I need. Alright, well, let's try again. I just lost 4 50-50s in a row. That's cool. I can get the rest from the bomb pot, that's fine. Okay. Cool. Got a couple bombs there, that's all we need. There's another place I can get bombs. That isn't RNG. Alright, so that switch activated like a fire pit in the middle of the room, and we have to run these Anubis statues to burn them. That's the only way you can kill them. And this pot has a bomb, and if we reload the room without picking it up, we can get it again. That's what we're doing here. We want to take a hit from this guy. I also want this bomb that happened to land on top. Alright. Sometimes that room can be a bit awkward. The bomb lands on top.
Yeah, that Beamos can really troll you.
So normally you have to go all the way up Spirit Temple. Oh, that sucks. Normally you have to go all the way up Spirit Temple to drop the mirror down, so you can shine light into the statue's face. That like melts it off, and also get the boss key. But we don't need to do that. We have technology.
Glitches.
So we're gonna climb up the statue's arm here with ISG so we don't fall off again, and do a bomb clip through to get onto the shoulder. There's some cool movement to get further up the shoulder. That's interesting. Okay, I'll take it.
Oh my. What a save. we don't see that save that often. That was a special one.
Alright, and then if we do 2 backflips, one of them being frame perfect, we can clip through the head there. And just jump slash right into the boss loading zone without needing the boss key. And Spirit Temple, in addition to being the furthest away, it also has the longest boss fight, which no one likes. This is Quindrova. Actually has 2 bosses, kind of, a mini-boss being Noboru, in Knuckle form. And we can do some cool stuff on Noboru, but Quindrova is just long and entirely RNG. You can probably go ahead and explain how we're gonna skip this cutscene.
Okay. Yeah, so what Lake wants to do right now, he wants to damage Nibiru at a specific health, so Nibiru dies to a bomb. He's gonna drop a bomb at a certain place, and I'm gonna use that bomb to push, or no, he's not gonna use a bomb, he's gonna use Nibiru's body to push through and cut through this wall, which will essentially let us to go out of bounds and void out, so it skips a cutscene that'll happen after we come through. So right now Nibiru is almost at death, so he's gonna drop a bomb here. He's gonna void out, and the bomb will eventually kill Nibiru. And as you can see this cutscene starting, but then eventually you'll see Link just pop back into the entrance right here.
Alright, cool. And that skip stays about 20 seconds. It's not a very long cutscene, but it's also not a very short one, so it's definitely worth it to do.
Yeah, we don't like cutscenes here.
Yep.
We gotta skip all of them.
This is definitely the anti-cutscene run. Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, Quindrova is long and also RNG. Quindrova will fly around, and one of them will randomly shoot, and I have to reflect the magic at the other one. When they start shooting, how long they, fly around and such, that's all completely random.
All RNG.
I can keep them in place if I see they're in a good place by spamming hookshot at them, so you'll see me do that, just so that they don't move and I don't miss. But other than that, just random. I need 4 hits on them before the second phase, which isn't RNG, luckily.
Yeah, this first phase can be quite dreadful if you have bad RNG. But a lot of runners have a lot of experience with Twin Nova, so they can do like specific positioning to have like an easier shot, or even like just do a hook shot right there to manipulate the movement right there. So Robo kind of went forward, which is real nice. And you just want like quick 4 shots, and sometimes those 4 shots are that, but it looks like has some decent RNG right now.
I also need to take a hit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nice to do that at the start. Just one more hit for phase 2. And they just feel like flying around a little bit, so that's, you know, the nature of Quinrova.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta hope that the other one just comes back into your field of view, because sometimes they just don't feel like it. Alright, that wasn't too bad though. They fly around for a little longer than you would have liked, but oh well. Nothing too bad there. Alright, second phase of Quinrova, not RNG at all. She fires the same 3 at the start, and we just have to catch him. And I'm using Hookshot, right after she finishes to get her to move faster. And for this last one, coming down here so I can start hitting her as soon as possible. I'm gonna let this one cycle her, so cool, not too bad. Alright, one of the few moments of rest for this run.
Oh yeah, this cutscene. The cutscene we can't avoid.
Yeah, if there's anything quick, you can go ahead and read it.
You know, I wish.
You wish?
I
wish-
wish
I wish
I
too.
was a fish. I wish that there was a donation to read. I'm going to remind everyone that we are raising money for Save the Children while these 2 hags are sent to a higher plane. You know, $8 dues. That's where we're going to start. We got 8. Let's get the change together. Let's get to $650 dues. I believe in everybody. You know, I believed in 700 too, but let's start with 650.
Yeah, to answer a quick question from chat, that's not a stun lock. If you needed one more hit there, we wouldn't be able to do it. We just can't do enough damage in the time before she gets up again.
He's about to do another cutscene skip. He's gonna position himself just right outside the blue orb edge again and play Ocarina items. Then he's essentially gonna use a bomb to kill himself and land at a specific spot to skip this cutscene and also get the medallion at the same time.
Alright,
Yeah,
this
the
is
reason
why... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the reason why we do enough damage to Roba is that we do a thing called power crouch stabs. So crouch stab has like a weird property, like it doesn't have a damage value. So you can actually store the damage value, whatever previous attack move you do. So usually you want to jump slash before you want to do your crouch stabs. So every time you crouch stab, you have a power of an actual jump slash. So that's why we're able to kill Robo really quickly.
Yeah, I know every boss in general in the game we're doing pretty much the same thing with. Alright, and that's why it was good for us to grab some warp songs earlier. One, because Minuet's kind of required to get into Forest Temple. There are other ways to get into it, but if you want to come in through the front, you have to clear that Minuet cutscene first. But also because, like we mentioned earlier, Spirit Temple's pretty far out of the way. So being able to just naturally warp back to where you need to be is good. So we're at what, 4 dungeons down? 4 left to go? No. Yes? Yeah. 4 to go.
Yeah.
Counting's hard.
Yeah, we're just blazing through these dungeons.
And Forest Temple is one of the faster ways to get to the boss. There's a very fast clip here you can just do, and the boss splitting zone is right below this room, so now we're already in Bim again.
Right, a lot of these boss rooms are very conveniently close, so we're allowed to just like clip through them and enter it real fast.
Yeah, I should mention a quality of just, you know, rooms in this game in general. When you're in a dungeon, all the rooms, collision, and loading zones are all activated at once. It's only the like graphics, textures, and stuff that aren't loaded. So that's how we can just get out of bounds boss loading zone, because everything's there. It's just not visually loaded. Alright, so we do a little trick there to take damage from Phantom again and also get a hit in. Because again, we want to be at low health. Always want to die.
A lot of dying.
And there's two of these that pop out of the paintings. You're supposed to be able to tell them visually, but on this console I cannot. So I go by audio cue. Because the real one makes noise and the other one doesn't. Alright, and this one is the stun lock. We spam hookshot there to keep Phantom again spitting his staff, and so we can never get up.
Yeah. Very nice fight.
Yeah, Force Temple's one of the quicker ones for sure. Just dungeons in general, this one flies by. So again, just gonna be some movement here to die as soon as the Lord wants to take us away.
Yeah, this cutscene skip here is actually kind of tricky. This whole area is surrounded by these fences. So what Lake has to do, he has to actually pull out the bomb and backflip at a certain frame, just so he has like enough distance or gets pushed from the fence and actually die at the same time. So right here, that's the right frame. So he's gonna backflip and drop bomb. And perfect.
5 dungeons down. 3 to go. But first, we have to make a detour for our favorite amphibian friend.
Oh yeah.
It is frog time. Tim, if you want to explain the significance of frog and why it's useful in this run and
Frog,
on
yes.
N64, your favorite item in the game.
It's quite my favorite. So 1.0 and also 1.1 has an exclusive glitch called there's like multiple names. There's like early frog, speed frog, hold R, whatever you want to call it. And the significance of this trick is that we can actually acquire the eyeball frog quite early in this with this version of the console or game. And the reason why we want the frog pretty early is that we can take advantage of the timer that happens when we acquire the frog. We can use it to do a lot of nice warps, and mainly for the one at the end, which we'll see at the end. So what Lake has to do right now, he's quickly going into domain. And it's a really easy trick, but it's one of my favorites.
And quick make a side hop there to get behind the waterfall. Normally you need to play Zelda's Lullaby to the waterfall parts, but you can get behind it with enough speed, just fly behind it. And King Zora here is frozen in red ice, but this is where the egg comes in, or the chicken. Now it's chicken because it hatched. If I pull this chicken out, and text pops up on the screen at the same time as King Zora does, and then I reload the room, he is no longer frozen in ice. And now we will talk to him, and normally he gives you the Zora tunic, but if we hold R, he will give us the frog.
Yeah, holding R right here kind of delays the collection, so the game was supposed to give you the tunic, but since you kind of delay that collection, it points to the next item that King Zora will give, which is the frog. And right here, we have the good old frog, and we have the timer right here, which will help us do some more wrong orbs and cuts and skips. And the first dungeon that we're gonna go to is Water Temple, since it's close by.
So we do equip to get to the lower part of Zora's domain to get there without loading the water, and then we can use the shortcut to Lake Hylia. If the water isn't there. And we have a bit of extra time here on the frog timer. We're gonna use that to get some more bombs.
Please, Lake Hylia.
We got one, so we should be good. I'm gonna try for another just in case. Oh, we did get one. Alright, so we're all good on bombs.
Could I sneak in quick 2 donations that came in?
Go for it.
We got an $8 donation from Ika. She pushed us over to the top for $650. She said 4th kids. And we got a $50 donation from Anonymous. Enjoying the event so far. I love Lake and Tim's commentary so far. I'm looking forward to the rest of the event. So that puts us at $700.
Let's go.
19 cents. Go. So we got to 700.
Oh yeah.
I believed in you. I believed in everyone. Let it be said. So I'll leave it back to you guys.
Okay, my camera didn't reset, so now I'm swimming blind.
Oh,
Okay,
that
we're
is
good.
a camera.
We're good.
Seen that camera.
We made it in. So yeah, we did a jump slash out of bounds there. And that water is kind of like at the same level throughout Lake Hylia, and it extends like really far out. So we can just swim to the water temple loading zone from out of bounds there. And now we just gotta get to Morpha, and luckily we have a lot of choices to get there. I did a Mega Side Hop and equipped hover boots to keep my speed.
Yeah, normally you need a long shot, but since we do Mega Side Hop, we just basically skip the whole area of Water Temple. And we just go straight to the boss. And right here, Lake is going to set up a trick called low-high ground clip. So he wants to hover up at a specific height, these 2 bombs, and he's going to drop a bomb right here. And at a specific frame, he's going to press B, which creates this low-high ground clip, and we're able to clip through the boss room door.
Cool. So we have plenty of time on the timer. Should be able to make this just fine. If anything goes wrong with the movement there, which Water Temple isn't the hardest movement split, but if anything does go wrong, it can get a bit weird with the timer.
Oh yeah.
Because we do have to make it to the end here for the blue orb before the timer runs out. So we're going to use the timer instead of a death. Let's cutscene.
Yeah, my first timer.
Morpha just does not feel like getting hookshotted today. There we go.
Yeah, you can kind of quickly kill Morpha by ledging her and sit the camera and you just spam crouch stab at her. I guess it's kind of like a stun move.
Yeah, Morpha doesn't have the opportunity to move anywhere. Just getting crouch stab over and over. Alright, and the reason we don't want to die here is because we actually want this heart container. Which will come in handy later, and we'll get to that when it comes up. But we want this heart container to have more health. And also it'll return us to King Zora, which is useful for the next location we want to go to. So, pick up the heart container, gonna drop and catch this fish, set up for the Ocarina items again. We're in this position here where we will be on the edge of the blue orb, and I'm gonna do Ocarina items at a certain point so that the frog takes this away. If I cancel that immediately, the orb starts taking us away. Timer still counts down. This text comes up, and we have a medallion, and we're back to King Zora.
Full warp.
Alright, and we're gonna immediately get the frog again. This time we have the prescription because the frog expired, and when it expires, it gives you the prescription. So we can just show King Zora the prescription and get the frog immediately again. So now we're off to Jabu Jabu. Only 2 more dungeons left. This one, and if you're keeping track, Fire Temple.
Fire Temple.
So Jabu isn't here as adult, but the loading zone still is, which is pretty weird. And we can do cool bomb trick to get into Jabu.
Yeah, I actually don't know the entire details of this trick, but you essentially do a thing called a forward mega side hop. Jump slash at a specific frame while unequipping and equipping up hover boots, which gives you like this weird momentum to allow you to enter the loading zone of Jabu's mouth.
Yeah, we specifically need to hit it from underneath it. It won't let you go in if you're hitting it from the top. So doing that lets us hit it from underneath. Alright, and we still have this timer on. We're not going to use it for Jabu, but we are going to do something else with Jabu. So real quick, for just Jabu in particular, we need the boomerang to be able to kill Baronade, the boss of this dungeon. So that's what this first part is going to be. We have to talk to Gerudo, we gotta go all around to get the boomerang, because there's not really any way to get the boomerang without carrying Gerudo all the way to the door. Got all these glitches, and none of them let us skip this.
There is a skip, but it's quite difficult. Not for this category, but like in general.
Yeah. So we've got to talk to Gerudo, and what we'll be doing with the frog timer is we're going to be using it for something in Fire Temple. But in Jabu, we're going to freeze the timer. So right when it runs out, we're going to void out, and that's going to freeze the timer at 0 seconds. And that's going to be on for our screen for pretty much the rest of the run. So right now we just gotta do whatever we can do, and then get into a good spot to void out when the time comes.
Yeah, it's perfect right here because we have to do all this movement with Gerudo, but we also need the timer to go down, so it's real convenient to do it right now in this dungeon. So I'm backflipping in the air and pressing the frog in midair. It actually stops the timer for a little bit while I'm in midair. That just gives us a bit more leeway to get where we need to be, just to be safe. I'm fairly certain we're like super good on time, but just to be safe. Yeah, you never know. Anything could happen in Jabu.
Yep. Alright, and that's the switch we needed Gerudo for. And we're going to use Gerudo for one more thing. Get one of these stingrays for butt.
Yeah, you can only push down the switch with Gerudo in your hands.
Yeah, we're pretty good on time here. Like, really good on time here. Alright, boomerang acquired, and we're gonna head over to Baronade, but we're not gonna go in just yet. Like I said, we have to freeze the timer. And we're gonna do that right outside the Baronade costume door. First, you have to head over there. And normally you can only use boomerang as child, but the glitch that was actually kind of somewhat recently found in the past couple years, called Equip Swap. Lets us equip items that normally whatever age is not supposed to be able to use as the age that isn't supposed to be able to use them. So here I'm hovering over the boomerang and then quickly switching over menus and equipping the frog on the first frame that the menu is shown. And that lets us equip the boomerang, but it still thinks the frog is equipped. And normally you need to bring one of those boxes over to hold that switch down to get all the way through, so it resets the door fairly quickly. But you can make it in with the roll in good timing. Alright, so now as the timer's running out, we're gonna get in this position, and flip out of bounds with the chew here. And the frog will start trying to take us back, but we cut it off by voiding, and now the timer is 0, and it'll stay that way for a while. And we're going to do a very similar position to what we just did, slightly different execution to get into the boss room. So now we're on the marinade fight. This fight's pretty fun. It's also a lot easier when you have deck nets, which I am not used to. not used to having the luxury of deck nets on this fight. And full targeting. So yeah, the nuts let us kill all those jellies surrounding Baronade very, very quickly. And that phases the boss. Now it's just stunning and hitting 3 times, and that'll kill Baronade. Cool. And this is actually the only dungeon cutscene that we aren't going to skip. And the reason for that is it's pretty short, and we don't have any good way to skip it. There are ways to skip it, but not any that are good for this route, so... And we also want this heart. This dungeon's also a bit different because Rudo's here in this blue warp, and Rudo makes this cutscene harder to skip. Like I said, there are ways to skip it, but they're all kind of extra and hard to be useful. And for this route, not very useful. Yeah, if any quick announcements or donations came in, that was pretty much the last chance.
We did. We had a $10 donation from Anonymous. No message, just $10. So thank you very much, Anonymous. And that is going to put us within $20 of the Win Fnac Ball incentive. Guys, you guys are eating into tomorrow's incentives. I'm just saying. Also, I love that when I asked Lake to do this run, he's like, I don't know. I don't think I can do it, you know. It's hard.
Not what I said.
I don't know if I have it in me, CJ.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that can go wrong and lose a lot of time. Yeah. That is all. There is still things that can go wrong and lose a lot of time. So
yeah, for sure.
we are technically like 10 minutes from finishing, but that is if nothing goes wrong. All right.
Say it in that exact voice.
Yeah, that's how I sound like. All right, so we're the last temple we need to beat this fire temple, and nice fish stroll. We have Bolero Earl from earlier to get over there, and something neat about warp songs with the frog timer is whenever you play a warp song, just in general, with timers. Just casually, it sets it to 1, and that's like to avoid people like cheesing the system and being like, oh, I warped over here with this trade item that you told me to get here in a specific amount of time, and I just got here super early. And casually, the game doesn't want you to do that. But that actually sets our timer to 1, which is going to be useful. So we're kind of where we want it. for later.
It's very useful for the upcoming long warp that we're gonna do.
So yeah, now you can see it's 1 instead of 0. I'm gonna get Ice G off of this Keith's, and that's not for the sword or the falling off ledges property. We are getting it for the camera. The camera, as you may have noticed, is a bit weird when you get ISG. And if we do that with a trade item out, we can open this door, and it kind of shifts the camera as we walk in, which lets us not talk to Daruni. Okay, well, we talk to him anyways. That's fine. If you don't look at him, it skips talking to him completely. Nothing happens here. It's just a long talk. Like 30 seconds. Not a huge deal, though.
Yeah, it's not too.
There are worse Gorons to talk to instead.
Oh yeah, for sure. So whenever you free a Goron and you accidentally talk to one of the Gorons, it reactivates the timer that we froze, and that would definitely kill him. So Lake has to be a little bit careful when he freezes Gorons.
Yep. Fire Temple's one of the longer ones. Yeah, it's another one of the dungeons that needs a specific item, like the item in the dungeon, to be able to beat the boss. In this case, we need Megaton Hammer in order to kill Volvaggio. The problem is, the Megaton Hammer is like way up there. It's at the very top of the temple, and this is a very, very tall temple. And we don't have any very good way of getting up there without just going through everything. So this temple is just a lot of movement, a lot of not talking to Gorons, hopefully. A lot of keys. One thing to note is I have a heat timer whenever I'm in certain areas. That heat timer is based on how many hearts I have. And that's why we got hearts in Jabu and Water Temple. So this heat timer is long enough for us to get through these parts. You can get through these parts with 4 heart timer, but it's pretty tight. 5 hearts, still, you know, you gotta move briskly, but it's much more comfortable than 4 hearts. You can't dilly-dally, but it's not bad.
You can do it with 3 hearts, but you need like a fairy.
Yeah. That being said, there are some cool movement stuffs in Fire Temple. We'll be coming across one of those soon. Some cool skips, minor skips, just to save moving through the temple. We're not gonna visit every room in this temple or anything.
Yeah. Well, I guess that one skip is kind of major.
Yeah, the one I'm about to do?
Yeah. It does skip quite a bit.
Yeah. This temple would be quite a bit longer.
Yeah.
Longer than it already is, if we didn't have the coming skip. So up ahead there's a boulder room, like a room with a bunch of boulders rolling around. And normally you'd have to go all the way through that, collect 2 keys, and then get on top of that room and get more keys to progress. But we can do the right angle here. You pull out a bomb and clip through this block. Now let's get this key very early. I'm just gonna be extra careful. This is the problem child. This Goron is off limits to talking to. Yeah, if I talked to that Goron, I would be warped back to King Zora, which would be very bad.
Be quite awful, and you would have to refreeze the timer.
Alright, so this is the boulder room I was talking about. Normally in casual play you have to go all through that bottom, you have to come from where I'm entering now to get that key that we just got, and then climb all the way back up, so yeah, that skips quite a lot. It's pretty nice. Alright, and then the room up ahead, there's a maze made of like flame walls. And you're supposed to go through some other rooms to get past them, but with a Hess, You can pass through them before they have a chance to stop you. Get a S. Hopefully not get hit by a boulder, but I did get hit by a boulder. Okay. Cool. Alright, so pass all the way through the flame walls there. And we're gonna intentionally bonk into this flame wall so that the game still thinks we're burning. We can just backflip through that other flame wall. And there's luckily some hearts here and some bombs. Make sure we're all filled up for the rest of the run. We don't actually need that many bombs, but the hearts are very useful. And here's Flare Dancer. Just gotta hookshot him out of his Flare Dancer skin. Not really sure what this is. But yeah, stab him 3 times. We're almost to the hammer. We can grab onto this platform as the fight ends to start this platform rising early. We can just catch it while the cutscene's happening. Take some time. It's supposed to drop a bomb on this crystal from above, but we can drop it below, and you can just still climb while the cutscene's going, so saves a little bit of time there. Alright, here's the hammer room. Gotta get past these spiral staircase. Casually, I thought that was the hardest movement that there could ever be in a video game. And after you've done it a billion times, it's really not that hard.
Yeah. I mean, like the camera.
Yeah.
We're actually almost done with
Yep.
with this run.
So, hammer in hand, we can actually do a clip here to fall all the way back down. Okay. Not sure what went wrong there, but there is a backup we can do. If I can find out where I am. I've done this before. Tim, if you know any specific visual cues for where to go. I'm just kind of looking for a drop-down point. I think it's on this side.
It's on the other side.
It's on the other side? Like,
yeah,
over here?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think it was on the other side. I think you have to be like a bit more up.
Promise you guys everything is okay. We just have to find out where we are. In unloaded room.
Yeah, usually that divot's on the top part.
The top
that
part,
weird
huh?
diagonal. Yeah. Up more, I think.
Up here?
Unless he drops kind of different. But I think try going up more, or can't you not?
I'm running as far up as I can. I think it's over here, maybe? Yep, there it is. Okay, we're good. We found out where we needed to be.
Okay. Yeah, it is right there.
Okay, so I can do a ledge clip on something you can't see, and drop down and get into the boss room that way. Alright, so now we're in the Vol fight. Oh, I have 4 hearts for this. Okay. I don't practice this very often, but we should be okay, as long as I'm careful. I usually end up with like 8 seconds left, so I can go for a 1 second with some time stops. Should be fun.
Yeah, if you do, sometimes it's okay.
Tim, if you can take over explaining Bullfight and Credits Warp, while I focus on clutching corners.
Alright, so you can see Volve going down into this hole. So Volve has 2 hitboxes, one is like the flying hitbox and one is like coming out of the hole hitbox. So the flying hitbox
Oh my god, I completely
pretty
messed
much
that
back.
up. Okay, I prepared for this. We're gonna lose a lot of time. See, this is why this is the 150 estimate. We're gonna have to take a long detour.
Okay. Yeah, that's why this route's kind of scary at the end. Because a lot of things can just happen and mess up.
Yep. I messed up a certain aspect of that fight. And we're gonna have to take a bit of a detour to fix it. So, I need Goron Tunic. Is the first order of business. Alright, so like I mentioned earlier in the run, this is the guy we skipped. We're on to impromptu stuff. This isn't part of an optimal run, but I need Goron Tunic, and I don't have money to buy it, so I need to get it from Rollyboy.
Yeah, like as we mentioned before, this route is quite scary. So it's really impressive that like only made a crucial mistake right at the end. Because there's so many areas where a lot of things could just happen and everything can go wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna lose quite a bit of time, but believe it or not, there are things that could have wasted more time.
Right?
Like anything that actually made my frog timer not defrozen. Because we still have the frog timer, it's still there, it's chilling. Dang, Daruni, I talked to Daruni earlier. I was gonna do the Daruni headshot jump.
Yeah, right, that's what I was thinking.
I'll just have to get the boss key and then pull her out again.
Yeah, then like refreeze the timer.
Wait, that activates it? Okay.
Oh, because when you save warp, you get prescription again. Oh, he activates it?
Okay, that is
That makes sense.
cool. I can't do this. Okay. I had no clue that that guy activated my warp. So
This kind of makes sense because
it does. But I also shouldn't have picked it up right away again. We're gonna have to take a bigger detour. So I'm gonna play the warp song here to actually just immediately set it to 1 and give King Zora his frog back. I also could just finish this run on GZ, if that's a better option. But I mean, it's not like I'm gonna go overestimate either way, so we'll finish it on bit 1. There's not much.
You got 20 minutes left. I have all the faith in the world in you,
Cool.
buddy.
Alright. So we have a few things to check off the list. We are literally the Volvagia fight away from beating the game. But since that screw up, it takes a lot to fix that screw up. So enjoy watching me fix my mistakes.
Witness a lot of solutions.
So again, first order of business, we need the Goron Tunic. We're gonna have to refreeze the timer when we get the frog again, and there's a couple ways to do that. But all the fast ones need Goron Tunic. We could just wait for the timer to expire, but that's slow. Definitely slower than getting Goron Tunic.
Right. The timer's like
It's 3 minutes. I definitely don't want to just sit here for 3 minutes doing nothing.
yeah, that would be fun.
So, gotta bomb Rollyboy again and talk to him. This time we won't get randomly teleported somewhere. So he has a pretty long text. talked about what we just like finished up doing about saving Darunia. Well, I guess we haven't saved Darunia yet, but we got most of the way there.
He's like, there's a fire temple.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yes.
we know about the fire though. We've been in it.
It's like, hold your horses, kid. We've been there.
But yeah, almost done with the text. And then after he finishes whining to you about how his dad's gonna get eaten by a dragon, he gives you the tunic. And that opens those doors, like I mentioned way earlier in the run. Alright, so now with the Goron tunic in hand, we gotta go back to King Zora and get the frog again. Luckily, the Lost Woods shortcut is pretty close by, and it doesn't take that much movement to get over to King Zora from here. Imagine if Spirit Temple was like the place that you could run work. It would take so long to reset everything. Fire Temple is luckily pretty close to a lot of things. And we have Bolero, which is quick to get, rather than Requiem, which is very slow to get. Okay.
Time to start up the magic again.
Yep, so I'm gonna grab this frog, and we're going to immediately warp out to near Fire Temple again with Bolero. And it's gonna set the timer to 1, like it was before, but we're gonna have just a regular Kokiri tunic on. So our heat timer is actually gonna take precedence over the frog timer, so it won't be expiring just yet. Also not the highest on health here. Could be fine though. Alright, so we can do a clip onto this ladder here. And then equip Goron Tunic after a certain amount of falling. And that'll activate our frog timer, and we void out, same as before. Freezes the timer for us, and instead of it being at 0, we actually do want it. Actually, I need a boss key, so I'll play Bolero to freeze it when I get the boss key.
Smart.
More efficient.
That's that bingo routing.
Bingo routing, yeah. So we do have to actually grab the boss key. Luckily, the boss key is way less out of the way than the hammer is. It's actually on the first floor of Fire Temple. Right over here. Now we get to do a trick that you normally wouldn't see in this run, ever. We're gonna do a weird shot. You can use the bomb and roll in with our hook shot into it to get under the ground with our hook shot and hook shot onto the chest to get past escape. We did have the hammer, so we could have gone like all the way around. I hope this text box just doesn't activate my thing.
I don't think it will.
Okay, we're good.
It's like a hammer cutscene.
Yeah.
Or hammered.
Hammer text box.
Yeah.
Alright. So now, we... Usually, to get out of here, you would, like, save and reset, but we would lose our frog if we did that. And we want to play Bolero anyways to get our frog timer to 1. So, Bolero is a nice, convenient way for us to get out of here now. But we're just gonna enter Fire Temple right back again, because we want to be bold.
It's nice we have Goron Tunic now. We don't have to worry about any heat timer shenanigans.
Yep, I'm actually gonna try to stay at low health here, just so we don't have to wait as long at the end.
Yeah.
As long as I don't get bopped by Volv, which rarely happens for fun. And even if we do, we already did all the long stuff to reset this up again.
Yeah, we got all the requirements.
Alright, and I actually knew this would happen, so I actually talked to Darunia on purpose earlier.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah, the Darunia isn't there to yell at us. Normally you need a hammer or something down to get over here, from like way up above where you normally get hammered, but you can do a really cool jump there just to get over to the boss door.
Yeah, the wall right next to you actually kind of helps you push to get like enough distance.
Alright, round 2. Here we go.
Let's go. The final boss.
The final boss. This is the final boss, not Ganon.
Yeah, no Ganons in this one.
Alright, you can go back to explaining the fight in the credits warp. I don't know where I cut you off, so I wasn't paying attention. But...
Yeah, I think I just stopped at Volve. The 2 hitboxes of Volve, so there's a flying hitbox and there's the 1 hitbox that the head pops out. So what Lake wants to do, he wants to drop the bombs at the hole where she's going to kind of damage her down as we're just kind of stunning because we kind of want to one-shot her to complete a full cycle. So it takes like 7 bombs to drop in the wall and give enough damage to one-shot both. Then we're gonna do after that we're gonna do a very nice run. And it's gonna there's 2 components that help out with the run warp. There's the frog timer run warp and the actual Ocarina items, like the fire cutscene run warp. So what Lake wants to do, like you've seen before, he backflips on a certain time, as in like in the water temple run warp. So he's gonna backflip on a certain time, and they'll activate both the frog cutscene and the fire medallion cutscene at the same time, which helps us beat the game, essentially.
Yeah, this run warp, instead of taking us to a certain place, it'll take us to the credits. So now we play a waiting game again. Only a short waiting game.
It's a few seconds.
And then we die, and then the frog timer takes over. And boom. The game is beaten. Woo! Ugh.
Look at that. And it even warps you to the best cutscene.
Yep, the dancing one.
The dancing cutscene.
Yeah, it actually warps you to like the middle of the credits, not like where it should start.
Yeah. Look at that, everyone's happy. Hyrule has been saved. We didn't even begin.
You rid the world of
Bavagia.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah.
all right. That was great. You guys want to tell people where they can find you, or where they can go to learn more about the Ocarina of Time?
Yeah, so Ocarina of Time is a very, very cool speed game, as I hope was relevant or was pretty apparent with this run. There's a lot of stuff going on in this game. One of the best things about this game, though, is actually its community. Community is one of the best I've ever been a part of. And if you're interested, you can find the Discord for this speedrunning community on speedrun.com. If you're interested in learning the game, pretty much everyone loves to help. So don't be shy to ask for help. Everyone will.
Everyone loves helping.
Everyone loves helping. We also have like one of the probably like the highest or like the lowest time to get people good. Out of like any speedrunning community I've seen. People get good so fast in this game.
Yeah, we have a lot of tools and resources like our practice ROM that just makes practicing a lot better.
Yeah, shout out to Glenn for developing that. As far as where you can find me and Tim, I stream pretty often. I'm doing this category right now on twitch.tv/lake_OOT. And Tim?
You can find me on Twitch as well, tomato_. My streaming schedule is a bit iffy, but I'm actually gonna have a match tomorrow. The bingo tournament.
Yeah, Tim's doing bingo tournament finals tomorrow. Is that being streamed on anywhere like ZSR, right?
I know it's on ZSR, but I don't know which one.
Yeah, if you know Zelda speedrunning, look on their Twitch tomorrow at like 2 EST, 11 a.m. PST.
11 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, check Tim out. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both very much. This was a great run. Thank you so much for filling in. Tomato, thank you for doing the commentary on short notice. We're going to take a quick pause for the cause. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to see a SDAT bumper. When we get back, we're going to be doing a breakdown of day 1 with me and Cece. So don't go touching that dial. We'll be right back, and we'll be back in about 90 seconds, I think. We're going to be just gone for a little bit. So stay tuned.